expect at the House of Reconciliation. Leadership, community, education, wellness, and participation is part of our plan for your spiritual growth and success. Family and faith is a core value for the House of Reconciliation, working to help people find their purpose. Want to make an impact in the kingdom? Ready to tap into your future? Meet us at the House Sundays with Pastor Reginald Campbell. www.houseofreconciliation.org.
Thank you. You may be seated. Want to welcome all of you in that are joining us this morning at the Greenville campus to 1427 Sweetie Lawrence Road, and to all those that are part of the mother campus at 210 Pansy Road in Hodges, South Carolina. I want to welcome you into the month of March. Happy to see you all. Want to do a couple of things, house cleaning, and then we will continue to move on with the word this morning. Thank you for joining us for the early bird service. But want to give credence to the growth, a part of the virtual campus and the global campus that we have. Looking forward to a trip. I was asked if I would like to accommodate missions going to Nigeria. So we just want to call a few names of the top countries that support and watch the ministry: Nigeria, Jamaica, also Kenya, Philippines, South Africa, Canada, India, Iran, and Liberty. And they have been the top 10 for a moment. And of course, here in the city of Greenville, we're happy for Greenville, Greenwood, the mother campus, Spartanburg, Simpsonville, Lawrence, Charlotte, Malden, Anderson, Clinton, and of course, New York. Thank all of you across the country that are a part, and I know there are many other cities that watch, but these are just the top cities that are continuing to grow. So we're grateful for all of the opportunity to expand and become a global ministry. Today we've got the first of the month, and I didn't do any short videos to share things with you. I want to have your undivided attention as we move into the month of March. Now, the number 3 talks about completeness. And so the number 20 is redemption and expectation. So the question for us this morning: have we really been redeemed? And are we ready to have a priesthood over our lives? This means naturally and spiritually. So the number 3 talks about completeness, wholeness. Talks about oneness, body, mind, and spirit. The theme this year is I choose better. I want to give you a couple of things, and this morning is really going to be for the writers and the readers. We have to stop giving our minds and time to people and things. Control over our future when they cannot help us, stabilize us in our future, in our present. We're looking to build the ministry of Arch, which is a flag worship ministry, also a mind ministry, short play skits, and of course additional musicians. Our relive is to understand that we've extended the date to March the 15th for those that are going to go bowling with Little Reggie from 7 p.m. until 9 p.m. We do have a flyer that is out there on our social media that you can do it. Registration is at hor.ministries@gmail.com, or you can cash app us at $GVille and put your name. That fee is $35. The deadline will be this coming Friday, and we will be bowling the next Friday. A couple of things that are coming up. We're working right now in conversations about having, since we have such a strong male following, we're going to do some gatherings, some virtual, some in person with that. Our theme again is I choose better, but I want to give us one specific focus this month, and that is this: my past can't go. My past can't go. Who I was is not who I am, and who I am is not what I plan to become. My past can't go. Yes. What I was, I no longer am. What I am, I will not be that in my future. Yes. This goes back to Galatians 5:1, stand fast in the liberty wherewith Christ has set you free. Be not entangled. Here's where a lot of people come to Christ, and a lot of people are church hurt and wounded and broken. And so many times we feel like we're looking through a broken glass. It says, be not entangled again. One is a mistake. Two is a behavior.
That's right.
Three, it becomes a habit. Four, it becomes an habitual habit. Again, with the yoke of bondage. Your past will choke out your present. If you're choked in your present, you cannot manifest your future. My question to you this morning would be, what are you truly focused on? Here is the topic, one of the other focuses for the month. This is all individual right here. Personal development. We have to lose the perception of having so much of an opinion about our friends and colleagues. So many things takes up our mind and takes us away from our own personal development.
Yes, sir.
This is why so many people pretend that there's something that they have never established.
Come on, sir.
I would rather look the part than be the part.
That's right. Come on now.
Personal development. When this is written, even though Paul was writing to the Galatians about a problem which was a physical, personal challenge versus a spiritual, he says, stand fast in the liberty. Many people today are not walking under the anointing of God. The term Christ is the anointing of God. How do you not have that? We need that in our personal development. We go back to this thought that we had. Am I my own oppressor? Remember, 75% of the mind rejects new information. 95% of the mind repeats the negative files and imprints that's already been captured and put into the mind.
Come on.
So where is that room to listen? This birthed this phrase called confirmation bias. Okay? Confirmation bias. Confirmation bias is a phrase coined by an English psychologist, Peter Watson, in the tendency of people to favor information that confirms or strengthens their belief, values, and is difficult to dislodge once affirmed. Some people will agree with anything. No facts, no research. I hate to break the Gen Zs and the millennials mindset, but Google is not always right. Right? Here's a quote from Booker T. Washington. A lie doesn't become truth. Wrong doesn't become right. And evil doesn't become good just because it's accepted by the majority.
Ooh, you talking good.
I say it again. This is Booker T. Washington. A lie doesn't become truth. See, sometimes you listen to a person, to what they say, and you never examine his or her integrity or character. You just take them at face value. So they can lie to you, and because they said it, you believe that is true. A lie doesn't become truth, wrong doesn't become right, and evil doesn't become good just because it's accepted by the majority. Here is what happened. This causes a developmental problem in the brain and produces negative files. So once someone makes an imprint on you and in your mind, because we have no spiritual firewalls, we have no spiritual defense. So what people can say and do to you can affect you for years. So something that happened in middle school can still affect you in college. Something that happened in high school because we had low spiritual firewalls. We had no anointing. The anointing is a covering.
Yes.
This is what the Old Testament talks about, the glory of God. That when the Lord spoke in Logos, that it oscillated. It had some vibe to it. It had some movement. We have no protection.
Come on.
So our minds become the playground of our dark side. Here's a report. Gen Z young adults face double the depression and anxiety of teens. This is a Harvard report's find, calling the finding about the emotional struggles of Generation Z young adults alarming. The researchers said 29% of them report experiencing depression versus 15% of teens. 36% of young adults reported anxiety compared to 18% of teens. In the survey, 15% of young adults reported experiencing little or no purpose or meaning in their lives in the previous month. How empty are we walking around? Do y'all want me to read that again to you? Okay. This is a Harvard study. Let's go back to Booker T. Washington. A lie doesn't become truth. Wrong doesn't become right. And evil doesn't become good just because it's accepted by the majority. This causes a developmental problem in the brain and produces negative files. Remember that. Gen Z young adults face double the depression and anxiety of teens, a Harvard report finds, calling the finding about the emotional struggles of Generation Z young adults alarming. The researchers say 29% of them reported experiencing depression versus 15% of teens. 36% of young adults reported anxiety compared to 18% of teens. In the survey, 58% of young adults, Gen Zs and millennials, reported experiencing little or no purpose or meaning in their lives in the previous months. More than half reported that financial woes and pressure to achieve negatively affected their mental health. This is why I recommend the book, Mind of a Champion. Get it at your local retailer. See, you have to build your mind. Recharge, personal devotion. You can't just run out there on adrenaline and caffeine every day.
Gotta recharge, that's right.
And for your finances, basic financial steps that'll teach you how to make your money work for you. Here's what it says. More than half reported that their financial woes and pressure to achieve negatively affected their mental health. Question would be, what do you do when the pressure comes? This is why we're talking about personal development. Researchers also found loneliness and a sense of not mattering to others. This is how our young people get caught up into things that will put them on a path that they'll never see their future. They will always see the walls of a prison, the walls of poverty. They see life as a struggle. Researchers also found loneliness and a sense of not mattering to others were factors among more than 1/3 of young adults who responded. The report lead author, Richard Wishbart, said the survey found a higher rate of depression and anxiety among Black and Hispanic young adults and those under-resourced communities than among white and Asian young adults. For young people in low-income communities who have been dealing with classism or racism or lack of opportunity, who are cut off from health care, from the high-quality schools, lack of meaning and purpose in high or high in those communities because people are contending with those things. Let me ask a question. Then why are most people faking it? If this statistical data has been proven right by the Harvard University, why are we pretending and people are pretending to be something that they're not? This is what he says. I think what's going on in the affluent communities can be quite different. He said, I think it can be a sort of a single narrow-minded focus on selective colleges, on high-status internship, while others are focused on being broke and poverty. There's a small community that feel pressure to get in high classified universities and high status of internship. Can I talk about internship for a minute?
Yes.
There is now statistical data that says that when our youth start out at low marginal jobs with low marginal incomes, it set the trajectory for their income the rest of their life. When others in high status internship, when they go, their rate of pay is $30+ an hour. When low income communities go, their rate is $7 to $8 an hour. So then the other entity says, why would I pay you $30 when you've never made past $10 an hour your whole life? So allow me to compromise with you and give you $12 an hour. But they look over here in the affluent communities and start them out at $35 an hour. Be careful where you let your children start their careers. This is one of the reasons people ask for resumes. Resumes are a cherry picker for where you start out. These things can squeeze out meaning and purpose. Here is the kicker. Ages 12 to 24, approximately 12 youth commit suicide a day. I don't know why we are pretending as if there's no issues. A young man, I received this report on yesterday. A young man, 23 years of age, just took his own life a few days ago. And no one knows why. He was about to graduate from North Carolina A&T. Our condolences and prayers goes out to his classmates, to the college, to his family, and to his friends. He was about to graduate North Carolina A&T in engineering. Here is what we're missing in the church realm. Spiritual development through faith and understanding.
Yes, sir.
We appear to be what we are not. We look the part, but don't live the part.
That's right.
Exteriorly, we look perfect. Internally, we are in broken pieces. We have things, but we don't have fulfillment.
That's right.
I want us to get one thing today if we don't get anything. We cannot rely on confirmation bias. I cannot agree with everything my mind tells me. My mind will tell me what everybody else should do and respect me. But I'm going to ask a question. How then do we line up with the process? That's how we should measure ourselves. How are we building our faith? We struggle with failures. Failures and life challenges are fuel cells. Your failures, your life challenges should fuel you. It should not break you. The problem is the enemy has penetrated our firewall. So when it's been penetrated, he has put a ransomware on your future. And we have to pay a high debt of failure just to come back to reality. Why don't we begin in reality with the anointing of Christ and say to myself, my mind is against my future. Without God centering me, without God guiding me, without God building me, the challenges, the problems are building tools. Most people are in a battle with their former self. Here's what Paul wrote. I've got to forget. As we enter this month and we head toward the resurrection of Jesus Christ, the question will become, will we rise?
That's good.
Will we rise?
That's real good.
Will we rise above the statistical data? Will we be a difference maker? Will we understand the value of being free and liberated? Here is the kicker as I get ready to close. My mind plays tricks on me.
They do.
If we're not careful, we will get hitched with a buggy and a horse that's going opposite
Directions. Yes.
of our gifts and talents and call in the Lord.
That's good.
I watched, oh my God, what is it called? Madagascar. What is it? Madagascar. I watched it, they call it the Afro Circus. And you remember the tiger? I watched that movie like 20 times, that little animated movie. And I kept watching how the tiger kept getting influenced by the crowd until he burned himself. And I watched the people in the stands get so ecstatic over the danger that he put himself in to appease their adrenaline. There are people who will celebrate your demise, but yet won't do what you do. There are people that you have confided in who are sling blades behind the bush, just waiting to cut your throat. There are people who hate to see your growth. They hate to see you happy. They hate to see you at peace. We've got to pray and ask God to give us a discerning spirit. People will listen to you to pull you down.
Yes, they will. Yes, they will.
Ask me why.
Why?
Because they don't see a future for themselves. So why should they see a future for you?
That's good.
Anyone that's complaining and talking negative and always about broken pieces, that is a person that's focused on the junkyard and not the mansion. This month, we have to make a choice. Will we rise? From the ashes of our past, I can no longer let my mind play tricks on me. My mind is against my future.
Yes, it is.
What would your future self say to your present self, and what would your present self say to your past self? How many more mistakes do it needs to take for you to realize this group of people are not your friends? And see, here's the whole point. Everybody want to go to the top, but there's a different altitude at the top.
Yes, it is.
That's true. And it's not that many seats at the top. Quit trying to pull a person where they can't see where they're going. Here is what I want you to focus on. I'm looking forward to my future. I'm looking for. You can stand around with them long lips if you want to. I'm looking. So I have to go back. I have to go back and take this from Caleb, who was with Joshua. Now here's the person who says, well, I'm not the leader. You don't have to be the leader.
Yes, sir.
But you get the same benefits.
I got the leader.
Because God didn't tell Joshua wherever your feet go.
No, he told.
He told the sidekick.
Oh, no. Yeah, Joshua.
You ought to be able to at least get sidekick blessings.
That's funny.
You ought to. If I ain't the man, I'm going to hang with the man, because God didn't say to the man. God said to the sidekick, wherever your feet go. Don't play with me. I'm getting ready to close. Because I feel that one. Wherever your feet go. Wherever your feet go. I don't care what they say about you. But wherever your feet go, it's going to be yours. See, you don't know how to walk by faith. You're walking by sight. Sight will blind you. People will break your confidence. It is not a song that holds you together. It is the anointing of God that holds you together. So I have to say, I can't bring my past into my present. This is for the young folks now. Say, the sidekick get benefits. I may not get the mansion on the hill, but I definitely get one down the street. So Caleb was a sidekick to Joshua. You never heard the Bible say that God told Caleb to lead the people.
Come on.
But because Caleb supported the leader, then God's got room for you. Look at somebody and say, baby, I didn't know I had a seat. Oh, God, I didn't know I had a seat. So this is why I tell people, and what do I got? I got about 2 minutes. I tell people, don't worry about being the head, just as long as you be the neck.
Come on now.
Because if you the neck, the head can't go without the neck.
That's right.
And the neck is what supplies the head.
That's right.
Oh, I wish I could help somebody. So you may not be the man, but somebody holler, but I'm with the man. Oh, God. And if I'm with the man, then I take the crumbs. Because Caleb told him, and so Caleb had to remind the leader. He said, listen here, Joshua. I know God talked to you. But while God was talking to you, he dropped me a note. Tell somebody, God got a note in the middle of your problem. Oh, I wish y'all could get it. In the middle of your problem, God's got a note. He said, wherever your feet go, that's going to be your land. So Caleb went back to devastation and had to watch people die for 40 years. Tell somebody your troubles ain't that long, baby.
Your troubles ain't that long.
He had to watch him down. So when they started to fight, it was a 5-year war to get into the promised land. Caleb, see, so every now and then you got to tap somebody, tap somebody. Say, hey, I know God was talking to you, but he told me something. He said, wherever your feet go, he said, ye shall possess that land. Look at somebody, say, I help her do get a blessing. So then he said, this is what I love about Caleb. Caleb said, but I have preserved
That's right.
myself.
That's right.
And I have gathered with me young, strong men.
Yes.
And all I need you to do is get out my way.
Yes.
As we get ready to rise on the 31st of March, there are some things we have to put in the grave. There are some things we have to leave at the grave. And there are some things we need to pick up on the outside of the tomb.
Yes, sir.
We need new tools to go forward. So the question isn't killing Jesus again. The question is, are you ready to rise?
My God.
Because the number 3 talks about expectation.
Come on.
So this is a whole month to start shedding that caterpillar kind of mindset. Look at somebody, say, come the 31st of March, I will not be a grasshopper. You can stay with Hoppo if you want to, but I got a seat at the mansion. God bless you. I see you. Somebody had to holler, ah! Got a seat.